Hello, this is Johnny from Green Herb Gaming. Okay, I wanted to do this video for a long time. I had no idea how I was going to put this video together, but I feel like this is the best way to word what I've been trying to word for a very long time. Okay, so here it goes. Actually, before I get stuck into this video discussion, Chad Middleton, hello to you. Good morning. Welcome to the live stream. So this is the video that I was talking about making for a very long time. Before I get stuck into my live stream discussion, I just want to say I hope my lovely subscribers enjoy the stream, and my viewers. Big shout out to my subscribers right now: Pro Chronics Vlogs, L4, Electricity Kid, Epic Kid 23, DLA, Damien Sewell, Alan Sewell, Mindtex Gaming, Black Knight the Gamer, Aiden Dennison, and of course you, Chad Middle. So shout out to all of you. Hope everyone enjoys. So, okay. So as you can see, the title of this video, game sound is a bit loud. Sorry about that. Yeah, actually, let me just fix that. Actually, let me just fix that. Turn it down massively. Okay, there we go. So, as you can see, the title of this video is "We are all gamers, but we are all different." Anyone who picks up a controller and plays a game is a gamer. It doesn't matter what that game is. It doesn't matter what the console that you play that game on is. That's good. Thank you, Ted. Thank you. So it really doesn't matter what console you own. It doesn't really matter how many... oh, hello, Mr. Ash. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Sorry, you just like blended in with the chat there. Sorry, Mr. Ash. Welcome to the live stream, and I hope you enjoy. So whatever console or consoles you own, no matter what games you play, no matter how many games you play, you're a gamer. We're all gamers. But we're all different. We all have different interests. Some gamers will own 2 consoles or 3 consoles. Some gamers might only own 1 console. Some gamers might have a library of 50 plus games. The other gamer might just have 3 games. Some gamers might like to play shooters. The other gamer might prefer to play platformers. Every one of us are different. We have different interests, but we're still gamers. We're all part of the video game industry. And that's really what I want to kind of go in depth with here. While getting some Spyro Reignited Trilogy gameplay in, of course. No, I just feel like I've been doing a lot of talking lately in my streams about how the video game industry has changed, and I've been talking about some of those changes that I've noticed and how I felt about it, and I just felt like it was all over the place, and I just wanted to take all of that and just put it together into one discussion stream titled "We're all gamers, but we're all different." So I hope this discussion works out. Fingers crossed it does. And I hope as many people can join the discussion and and kind of like and get involved. But yeah, I just feel like if you play a console, you're a gamer. It doesn't matter whether you own a PlayStation 4 only or a Nintendo Switch only, or whether you own all the consoles. It doesn't matter whether you have 50 games or 5 games. It doesn't matter whether you play Call of Duty Black Ops or Metal Gear Solid. It doesn't matter. Some people like to have a large library of video games. Some people like to play as many different video game genres as possible, while other gamers just like the one game. It might be Fortnite, it might be Call of Duty, it might be Mario, it might be Final Fantasy, it might be Battlefield, I don't know. But we all have different interests, and I just want to say that I am proud to be part of the video game industry. I'm a proud gamer, and every person who picks up a video game controller, I respect all of you, and I have great time for all of you, regardless of what console you play on, regardless of what your interests are in video games. I mean, clearly I am a huge, I'm a huge gamer, and some other gamers are not as big into gaming as I am, and that doesn't make them any less of a gamer. It just means that I'm different to them. It just means that I am like a huge gamer, where I play on a lot of consoles, and I play a lot of different games on those consoles. That's just the way I've always been. I can't expect every single person in the world, you know, to have my interests and to be like me. I mean, that would be insane. That would be insane. So for me, like, you know, I mean, I grew up with video games. I'm an adult now, and I've been playing video games since I was a young kid. Thank you, Chad, for that input. Thank you. I've been playing video games since I was a young kid. I mean, it goes all the way back to a video game system called the TV Boy, then the Sega Master System, then the Sega Mega Drive, then the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2. I even played the Xbox for a bit, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, the PS3, the PS4, the Switch. Not to mention the handhelds I played, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, Nintendo DSi, Nintendo 3DS. I just love gaming so much, and I play so many consoles and so many different types of video games, including the game you see me play right now, Spyro the Dragon. This game is one of my childhood games. It's one of my favourite games of all time, and I absolutely adore this game. But look, that doesn't mean that somebody who only got into gaming like recently and just likes to play one console and one game, that doesn't mean that person isn't a gamer. It just means they don't share the same interests that I do. I have to re-download 200 gigabytes of games because Nintendo doesn't allow you to swap memory cards from system to system. They do have what should we call it? Cloud storage. They do have that. No, sorry, not yeah. If you have a Nintendo account, your downloads are tied to your Nintendo account. They're not really tied to a memory card, because that would mean that you'd be able to put your memory card into my Switch, and they would have 200 gigabytes of games for free. So what it is your video game downloads are tied to your Nintendo account. So all you got to do basically is just the memory card. Like, as long as you have your memory card, you don't have to do anything with your memory card. All you have to do is just basically just re-download those games. That's how it works on all consoles. Your downloads are tied to your Nintendo account, yeah. So like, I don't want to be this bitter old man who's like, well, if you don't own more than one console and you don't play more than one game, then you're not a real gamer. I don't want to become that person. And another thing as well that I want to talk about, I've just spoken about how we're all different in terms of what console. No problem. So I hope that helped. Basically, whatever games you've downloaded, on your Nintendo Switch. I presume you're talking about your Nintendo Switch anyway. I presume you are. If you're not, let me know what console you're referring to. But I would presume you're referring to Nintendo Switch. Basically, every video game you download on your Nintendo Switch is tied to your Nintendo account. So those games will always be there. They'll always be connected and tied to your Nintendo account. So if you buy another Switch, all you got to do is just re-download your games. So it's not going to be like, yeah, I see what you mean. You got to re-download it, but they do, like, they obviously can't allow you to. They obviously can't allow you to put that memory card, you know, back into your Switch, because that could be anybody's memory card. You get what I'm saying? That could be anybody's memory card. Sully, how are you, man? Welcome to my live discussion. I'm basically discussing how we're all gamers, but we're all different. We all have different interests in consoles, in video games, and basically, just to kind of give you a recap, basically I'm just saying that as long as if you have a controller in your hand and you play video games, you are a gamer, regardless of how many consoles you own, what consoles you own, or how many games you own, or what kind of games you play. All of that doesn't matter. If you play a video game, you are a video gamer. And I'm kind of, I want to make that clear to everyone. Another thing as well that I didn't really talk about, like, it's okay not to like a game. You know, it's okay not to like a game. Yes, I play a mini NES, a PS4 and a Switch. That's a nice combination right there. You got your NES Mini, you got your PS4 and your Switch. Consoles I own are PS4, Nintendo Switch, my handhelds are 3DS, and then I have a lot of retro consoles. I have the TV Boy, which is the first video game system I ever interacted with, Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive, Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, I have the NES, I have the SNES, the N64, the GameCube. Does a phone count? Yes. Yes, a phone does count, actually. Yes. If you play mobile phone games, you are a gamer. It's that simple. I want to let everyone know right now that you are a gamer, and I'm happy to call you a gamer, and I don't want you feeling like I'm being so, you know, salty or negative with you because you own a different console than me, or because you play you know, less games than me, or because you play different types of games, you know, to me. So again, to get back to what I was trying to say there about, like, it's okay if you play Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and you play Fortnite or Minecraft or FIFA or whatever game, and like, if you play those games, that's okay. And it's also okay if I don't like those games. That's okay. And if you don't like Spyro and you don't like Mario, that's fine as well. Because as I pointed out, like, we all have different interests, but we're still gamers, and I just feel like we can all be part of the gaming industry without being exactly the same. Because where would that get us if we were all exactly the same? I'm doing a terrible job playing this game right now because I'm trying to do this discussion stream and play Spyro at the same time. So I guess what I'm saying, you know, if you could take one thing away from this stream, because I do ramble on a lot, if you could take one thing away from this stream, it's that be proud of who you are. As a gamer, as a person in general, really. But just be proud of who you are as a gamer. Be proud of the games you play, regardless of how many games you play, what type of games you play, how many consoles you own, what kind of consoles you have. So, you know, if the only console you have, and the only console you want, is a Switch, and the only game you play is Mario, be proud of that. And don't let anyone tell you that you're not a gamer. And if you only own a PS4 and that's the only console you want to play, and the only game you play on it is Fortnite, be proud of that. And don't let anyone tell you that you're not a gamer. And if you own all consoles, and you own like every single game that ever got released on those three consoles, then you are a gamer, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not a gamer. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how many consoles you have, what kind of consoles you have, what kind of games you play. If you just play Call of Duty over and over again, and you play Minecraft over and over again and Fortnite, you're just as much as a gamer as the person who plays, you know, GTA all over and over again, you know, on the Xbox or whatever. And yeah, the video game industry has changed. Yeah, you know, Grand Theft Auto has turned into this online, heavily focused game. But I don't have to buy it, do I? I don't have to buy it, like. Nobody's forcing me to buy that game. Nobody's forcing me to like that game. It doesn't mean that somebody who's playing Grand Theft Auto online is less of a gamer just because I happen to remember GTA when it wasn't online. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, like, my opinion on GTA Online shouldn't affect how I play my games or how anybody else plays their games for that matter. From our Resident Evil discussion last night, look up a YouTuber called Scorpion. He covers Chinese comics. Oh yeah, I've been meaning to get some of those comics. I actually have graphic novels of Resident Evil. They're absolutely fantastic. I read the first novel. I got to restart the second novel. It's so fucking great. It's so great because the second novel basically covers, it's directly after Resident Evil 1. So when Jill, Chris, and Barry basically like head back from the mansion, they go straight into the RPD. They go straight into the RPD, but not knowing that Chief Irons was obviously heavily, you know, involved in what went on in the mansion, that Chief Irons was actually receiving bribes from the Umbrella Corporation to stay out of Umbrella's affairs in Raccoon City. So it's basically like, it's so cool to see how that went down. And obviously, you know, if you play Resident Evil 2, you'll know that it can go down very well because obviously Chief Irons was heavily involved. So nobody at the Raccoon City Police Department took Jill and Chris and Barry serious. So it's really kind of about that. It's really about, you know, it's basically about stars basically being on their own, and they have to kind of go out there and kind of investigate. I love the Nemesis versus Birkin in the comics. There's actually a guy on YouTube. Funny enough, actually, this might be this guy. I don't know if it is that guy actually, but he covers those comics. Very good. He covers those comics. And do you know what as well? Just because if you like, I love Resident Evil so much. It's one of my favorite video game series of all time. I love that game. I could talk about that game until the cows come home. But look, like if you're like 15 years old, and the first Resident Evil game you played was Resident Evil 6, okay? You're just as much as a Resident Evil fan as I am. You're just as much of a gamer as I am. It doesn't matter if I can talk about Oswald E. Spencer until the cows come home, and I can go into detail about that story. Look, just because I'm a hardcore fan of Resident Evil doesn't mean that the 15-year-old gamer who got into the series with Resident Evil 6 is less of a gamer as I am. Look, it's 2019, it's a new year, and it's about time that I change my mindset. Okay, I'm not going to bash, you know, every video game. Well, I do my best. It depends on how bad the game is, really. But I'll do my best not to bash a game just because I don't like it, or bash a gamer just because he wasn't playing games when I was. You know, like somebody who just gets into the Resident Evil series. You know, I'm not going to turn around and say, "Oh, you're not a Resident Evil fan." We're all gamers. We're all gamers. All of us are. I think it's great when you play a new game and you get interested in yeah, it is great. It is great to really play a brand new game and just get stuck into that story. And you know, especially Resident Evil games, I like playing a new Resident Evil game and getting stuck into the story. I thought Resident Evil 7 was absolutely fantastic for that. It was just such a different direction in terms of not just gameplay but story. It was so interesting. It was so different. I'm so used to playing Resident Evil games where I'm like, okay, this is completely out there, it's completely far-fetched, you know, like Nemesis or Tyrant, you know, the G-Virus, and all of these kind of crazy viruses that would like mutate and everything. Like, I was so used to that, but it was so refreshing to see probably one of the most realistic biological weapons ever introduced in the Resident Evil series, which was what is her name? I keep forgetting her name. The young girl in Resident Evil 7. I know it starts with an E. I know that much. I keep forgetting her name. Chad, do me a favour, let me know what her name is. Be right back. I have to make a phone call and pay some bills. No problem. busy. No problem. I keep forgetting her name. Her name will come to me. But she was literally a human being. She was just, she was a test tube baby for all intents and purposes. But she was injected with a fungal virus that kind of allowed her to have the ability she had. Now I know it's a little bit sci-fi, but if you think about it, it's the most believable. It is the most believable virus I would say ever created in the Resident Evil series. So I really enjoy that story. I did, yeah. But see the way I can go into so much detail with Resident Evil because I love that game. Just because another gamer who mightn't have played as many Resident Evil games as I have, or mightn't have gotten into the stories as much as I did, it doesn't make them any less of a gamer than I am. So I'm just basically, I'm trying to be nice, basically, going into 2019 and respect every single gamer out there. Even if it doesn't matter why. Another point that I want to make. I'm going to wrap this up at 30 minutes because I feel like I don't want it to be too long of a discussion. And then probably around the 27-minute mark, I'll do a recap. And it'll be a proper recap this time, I promise. It'll be a proper recap. Another thing as well is, it doesn't matter why you bought a game. Okay, it doesn't matter why you bought a game. I keep talking about how some people only buy a game because it's popular and because everyone else has it. It doesn't matter. I'm beginning to realise now, it doesn't matter. Look, if that person is not causing trouble out in the street, you know, if that person is not like injecting heroin into their arm, or doing some crazy shit outside, if that guy wants to, you know, guy or girl wants to sit in their room and play a Fortnite and have a bit of fun, regardless of why they bought that game, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, a lot of the games that I grew up loving and played were bought for me anyway. I didn't have a choice in it. They were bought for me. So it's not like I made a kind of personal choice to go out and buy that game anyway. They were bought for me. Everyone is different. Like, everyone is different. Some people just like to be included. Some people just like to feel, you know what, I have this game now that my friend has, and I feel better because of that. There's nothing wrong with that, and I shouldn't be bashing people for how they buy their games. We're all gamers. All of us. Regardless of how many consoles we own and what kind of consoles we own. Here I am now repeating every single word I said. But look, at least I did the video anyway, and it's out there now. It's out of my system, so I can kind of get back to doing what I do best, which is play the games I love to play. And look, if you don't like those games, that's cool. That's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Like, you know, it's totally fine. I'm not going to bash anybody for their interest in games. You know. But at the same time, I can't be other people as well. I can't just pretend to like a game either. You know, that's how it works too. Like, I can't pretend to like a game either. I can't just, you know, convince myself that I like this game when I don't like it. So I'm going to get back to what I do best, which is playing video games that I like to play. And it's cool if somebody doesn't like those games. I can't make you like those games. I can't make you buy those games. You know, I can't really do much in that regard. Just like there's not very much that you can do to get me to like a game that you like if I don't like it. That's perfectly fine, because we're still gamers. We're all part of the gaming industry. We just have different interests. It's like with anything else. It's like with music. It's like with books. It's like with movies. It's like food. It's anything. It's anything that you could use any other thing as an example as well about how we're all different. Come on, Spyro, let's get your act together. Come on. I'm almost wrapping this video up now, like in 2 minutes time. So Spyro, come on, let's try and do this. So it's no mystery to my subscribers and viewers and that I know, to them it's no mystery that I love this game so much. But like, not everyone is going to like this game. Not everyone is going to like these type of games. And that's cool too. I would say that how I would describe myself as a gamer is I'm a student. I'm a student of the gaming industry, meaning I love to learn about, like, I love to know more about games. I like to play as many games as I possibly can. I like to get myself sucked into as many games as possible. I just really learn about games and learn about different types of games and just play as many different games as I possibly can. That's the kind of gamer I am. But not everyone is going to be like that. Some people just like specific types of games and a specific type of console, and that's fine. It doesn't make you less of a gamer. It does not make you less of a gamer. So that's one of my New Year's resolutions now. Okay, it's just respecting everyone's preferences. Like, there's a lovely moment, and I talked about this as well in one of my streams. There was a lovely moment at the Game Awards there a couple of weeks back, where you had like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft standing right beside each other, just reminding everyone that we're all part of the gaming industry. So whether you own an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch, whether you just play Fortnite over and over again, or whether you play Mario, or whether you play all those games combined, we're all gamers. Oh man, I actually was so close to actually winning that one, wasn't I? Okay, so it's 27-minute mark now. I did say that I wanted this video to be 30 minutes and no longer than 30 minutes, so I'm going to recap. If you hold a controller in your hand, if you play a console, you are a gamer. Regardless of what that console is, regardless of how many consoles you own and play, regardless of how many games you own, or what kind of games you play, you are a gamer. So if you only own a PS4 and you only want to play a PS4 and the only game you have is Fortnite, you are a gamer. If you only have a PS4 and you only want to play a PS4 and you own every single game ever released on PS4, you're just as much of a gamer as he is, and he's just as much of a gamer as you are. If you own two consoles with a handful of games, you're still, it doesn't matter. If you like Mario, you're a gamer. If you like God of War, you're a gamer. If you like Just Dance, you're a gamer. Okay? You are a gamer regardless of the circumstances. You know, whether you bought a game because the person next to you had it and recommended it, or whether you personally wanted to play that game. If you're holding a video game controller in your hand, playing a video game console and playing a video game, then by definition, you are a gamer. And I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to let everyone know that, you know, I don't want to be this bitter person who's like, you know, judging somebody because of what console they own or how many consoles they own. But it has to work both ways too, though. That's the thing. It has to work both ways as well. I'm being as nice as I possibly can, and it would be nice if that would be returned to me as well, you know. So it's kind of a two-way process, really. It only works, you know. It takes two to tango in this situation, you know. But yeah, so that's what. So going forward now, that's out of my system now. So going forward now, Mr. Ash, girls play with girls play with heart. They are gamer as well. Oh, girls as well. It doesn't matter if you're a girl. Doesn't matter if you are a boy. It doesn't matter if you don't have a gender. It doesn't matter if you identify yourself as a unicorn. It doesn't matter. You're a gamer regardless of whatever the stats are, whatever the statistics are. You are a gamer regardless. So going forward now, I can get back to doing what I do best, which is gaming, which is enjoying the games I like to play. So with that in mind, actually stay tuned for less than 2 minutes and there will be a new stream. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm going to get back to doing what I do best, which is playing the games that I like and being proud of me as a gamer and everyone else.